Hello. Hello. Hello, and welcome to the Everyday Language Podcast, coming from the universe. Hi, today's Everyday Language Podcast is today's episode is one about differences in meaning. So, light and dark, expressions, nuances, understanding and empathy. All these things, what do they give us? What can we learn? And what can we really know in this life? I try to keep it light and not too deep because I don't want to overthink this episode. I want to go with the flow, and I believe that going with the flow is a very useful thing. So let's see. So first things first, starting with light and dark. There seems to be always two sides to an argument, or perhaps 3 or 4 or 5, or at least there's many different perspectives and there's many different ways of seeing something. Me and you may be looking at a cup, and to you, in the classic way, you may think that cup is half full, and I might think, yeah, it's half empty. And that's one way to see that cup. But there might also be alternatives. There might be other ways at looking at the cup. Is the cup round? Is that perfect? Does it matter? Is it holding the water very still? Or is the water moving inside? What colour is the cup? What is it made out of? What's around the cup? What's on the outside? Is it on a table? Is it on a shelf? And then all these other things, and it's really good to practice our language and our descriptive abilities by, looking at an object or looking at something and trying to really notice things, notice what is there and the contrasts. Okay, so the cup is on the table, but then the shade is covering half the table in a kind of dark shadow. It's not completely black, but it's kind of showing that there's giving the colours a kind of background and kind of reflection, a dark reflection. On the other hand, if you look on the other side of the table, the light may be shining in through the window. The window curtains may be giving the light a kind of light filter. So it's not the pure sunlight coming from the sky, through the clouds, through the blue, shining from the blue clouds. How it's really cool how sometimes you see the sun's rays coming through the clouds. Yeah, it's not like that. It's through the window curtains. So somehow the rays become all scattered and dampened, filtered by the window curtains. And I was never much of a writer. I wish I was. And I'm not an artist either. You can ask my wife. She knows I can't draw. For some reason at school, I could never get into art, even though I really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't something that I was good at. The things I was good at were sports. I loved to move. I loved to run around, and that to me was expression. That to me was feeling free, running as fast as I could, or running after the ball. I didn't like training, but I did it sometimes, and I tried to put my mind to it, to do the training well, and to learn how to tackle, to learn how to pass, to learn how to hit the ball, to learn how to pass the ball. So that was my way of expressing myself and my way of passing time when I was younger. And then, I'm talking about expression, and expression always means to me, like, what makes you feel free, what opens you up, what opens your heart, what opens your mind to different things. And to me, moving, and I needed to get my heart rate up. I needed to get my blood pumping. As a grown-up, I've found it sometimes difficult to express what I've wanted. When I was a kid, I felt it so easy to express, through sports. My teachers used to say that when I played football, I made the other players look good. When I played well, everyone played well. And as part of my working experience, as part of a team, I have thought that some days have gone really well. In my English class, everyone's on the same level. We all get it. Or if we don't get it, we all feel comfortable. Or we're on the way to feeling comfortable. And that's what I like, everyone working together, expressing themselves, feeling free. I don't want to lecture, and I don't want to I've still got lots to learn. I don't really know what's going on with many things. But that thing I know, that to find myself, to lose myself in the moment, can lead to something good, can lead to me learning something. But as a grown-up, I know that you can't always just lose yourself. You've got to stay in control. And that's where the training comes in, and being able to stop, have a light touch. Don't just, when you're a kid, you go with the flow and you can kind of just lose yourself. But when you're an adult, you know when to stop, you know when to start. And then this leads us onto another side of language, the subtext. What do we gain from not saying something? What do we gain from stopping? We don't want everything to be explained. We want some kind of mystery. We need to find some things out for ourselves. I do think imagination is enough. You can put yourself into someone else's position. You can have empathy. You can feel what someone felt. It is slightly different from experience. It's not actually doing that thing which that person has done. But, our life is kind of limited, so we can't do everything. Focus on what you really love to do. Focus on what's around you in the world, what you can do. I'm sorry, this is a bit of a rambling podcast episode. Just these things have been on my mind. That's all I've really wanted to talk about. How to learn, and what we're doing as students, not just in the sense of English language, but in the sense of being alive and living our lives. Okay, thanks very much. That is today's episode of the Everyday Language Podcast. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.